Oh boy, WNBA fans, y'all are screwed. Look at that. Caitlin Clark is out 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Do you know how bad the WNBA ratings are going to be for the next 2 weeks? Nobody watches the WNBA at all if it's not for Caitlin Clark in the first place. Now that she is hurt, who in the world is going to watch these games? Who in the world is going to watch a WNBA game without the biggest star the sport has seen ever? Like, this is going to be hilarious the next couple of weeks when these ABC stations, TNT, ESPN, see how bad the ratings are when Caitlin Clark isn't playing. And then all the players are going to see, oh, wow, we actually need Caitlin Clark to play in these games for us to try to make.
When one athlete is carrying an entire league on her back like she's hauling a mattress up a spiral staircase, yeah, you know something wild is happening. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star player, she's the plotline, the headline, and the main attraction at every arena and every concession stand. She's got ESPN doing backflips in gratitude and Fox Sports. They're probably considering a name change to Clark Sports. If TV networks had a soul, they'd be offering.
Caitlin Clark has just been ruled out for the next 2 weeks, and ticket sales are already down 75%. So if you didn't know, Caitlin Clark injured her hamstring and is out for the next 2 weeks, including 2 road games. One of those games being against the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, where they have a very heated rivalry. Just 2 days ago, the cheapest ticket to get into the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game was $86, and now it's down to $25. This is also against the same person who said the reason people come to watch the WNBA is because of her, talking about Angel Reese, but she cannot even keep the ticket prices up.
Her eternal hugs and free pizza for life. We're not just talking big numbers here. We're talking bonkers, boardroom executives spit out their latte kind of numbers. People who haven't watched women's hoops since Cheryl Swoops had her own sneaker line, yeah.
That Caitlin Clark was supposed to play against over these next 2 weeks also already rented out a bigger stadium because of how many people they were expecting to have show up to see Caitlin Clark play. And because the WNBA is only about 40 games, she is missing a huge chunk of time with being out 2 weeks in June.
They're glued to their screens now. It's like March Madness became a year-round subscription and Caitlin's the one ringing the register. But here's the twist: how does the WNBA treat her? Like a vending machine. Helpful, but replaceable. She's handing them platinum, and they're acting like she's giving out coupons to a roller rink. So what do
WNBA's got a real ratings problem, okay? The ratings came out for the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark game. I saw some people actually trying to spin this as a positive, and I was like, they're like 235,000 views.
do you think? Is the WNBA doing enough to protect and promote its biggest star? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we're reading them all. The WNBA deserves this train wreck. Let's go. The welcome mat for Caitlin Clark looked more like a yoga mat someone found at a thrift store. Instead of charter flights, she got sardine seating. Instead of superstar treatment, she got a schedule that would make a coal miner ask for hazard pay. If there's a playbook for how not to nurture a generational talent, the WNBA is giving a full-blown masterclass. Meanwhile, Clark's out here playing MVP-level ball, while eating shoulder shoves and jealous side eyes like it's part of her pre-game warm-up.
The league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game, and did a thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm, and they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that
Some of these defenders think defense means WWE-style body slams. And if Caitlin Clark is the league's meal ticket, they're treating her like expired leftovers. Now that she's injured, you could hear the WNBA front office gulp in unison like someone just pulled the plug on their life support.
Clark was the WNBA's Rookie of the Year last season and a first-team All-WNBA selection. So far, she's averaging 19 points and a league-leading 9.3 assists through 4 games this season. I could give a damn about that last part. I don't care about her leading the league in assists. I don't care about the points that she's averaging because I already know that the young lady can ball. She is special. What I'm interested in is what somebody tweeted me and asked about earlier today that I want to show you right now. Put this tweet up, please, so our audience can see it here. At 4th Gen Bucci, B-U-C-C-I, right? Stephen A. Smith. Can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is out?
Because let's be real, this wasn't just a team issue. It was a full-blown league crisis. The panic at WNBA HQ probably registered on the Richter scale 1 quad strain later, and suddenly we're back to echoey gyms and scoreboard operators taking naps. Without Clark, the buzz vanished faster than Angel Reese in a crunch-time fourth quarter. Yeah. I said it. Twitter melted down.
Clark effect is alive and well, but unfortunately for the WNBA, she's now out for a minimum of 2 weeks before she gets reevaluated. So they might not see numbers like this for quite some time. This next Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game, June 7th, I believe, that's going to be on CBS as well. You think that's going to draw 2.7? I can assure you it won't. You think that's going to draw over 2 million? I can assure you that won't.
It turned into a group therapy session. Fans weren't just disappointed, they were furious. Because this mess was completely avoidable. You burn out a player like she's a temp worker on a 16-hour shift, make her play 5 games in 8 days, let defenders hammer her like a piñata, and then act surprised she's injured. Please. Clark's been treated like a one-woman Broadway show on a stage held together with duct tape. Meanwhile, other players are chilling in the wings, like understudies just waiting for her to collapse. Let's talk receipts. Clark's games tower over the rest of the WNBA's schedule like Shaq at a 6th grade dance. She plays, and the arena pulses. She sits, and it's crickets and cardboard cutouts. Ratings without her.
So maybe we should stop hurting her. Oh, maybe they'll finally see that they need Caitlin Clark. I mean, I can't believe we even have to discuss this, that she's even, I mean, if you don't think she's the biggest star in the sport, you're delusional. This girl carries not only her team, but her sport and her league. She carries the league, and you're going to find.
Look like someone unplugged the power grid. If Caitlin Clark sneezes, 3 networks prep emergency coverage. That's star power. So how does the WNBA respond? By throwing her into matchups with defenders built like linebackers and refs who look like they're sponsored by Angel Reese's PR team. Clark's been absorbing fouls that would warrant jail time in most countries.
The Fever stink without Caitlin Clark. It is rough. It has been a rough stretch. I thought that Indiana would split the 4 games that she was out if she was going to be out 4 games. I guess that's still on the table.
Meanwhile, Reese is out here pretending she's the underdog while sneaking in cheap shots and calling it passion. Angel, we see you. It's not hustle. It's envy in a jersey. The league didn't just overplay Clark, they milked her like the last cow on earth. And forgot to feed her. She's logging massive minutes, drawing triple teams.
Can we be clear about this? If Caitlin Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She is the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. She'd be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, essentially. That is where we now are.
Carrying Indiana like a superhero with no backup. And now that she's hurt, the WNBA is staring at each other like someone just unplugged the Wi-Fi. Who's the next attraction? Sorry. But Reese's 2-point layups and constant scowling don't exactly scream SportsCenter A block. Clark's final game before injury pulled over 2 million viewers. That's blockbuster territory. That's a cancel your plans and pop popcorn energy. Now, the very games that were supposed to ride that high. They're scraping together enough attention just to keep sponsors from ghosting. If you thought Angel Reese could
WNBA They're having troubles with tickets now because I think Caitlin Clark is out for what? How many weeks is she out? She's ruled out for the June 7th game. That's when she was supposed to meet up with Angel Reese again. And Chicago Sky, and there's a massive drop in ticket sales.
Could fill that void. Think again. She's better at photo ops than pick and rolls. And here's the real tragedy. This was all foreseeable. The WNBA had a generational superstar and they fumbled it like a rookie in the spotlight. The WNBA didn't just stumble into greatness, they had a marketing miracle fall into their laps. A ticket selling, jersey flipping, crowd roaring lightning bolt. And instead of protecting her like a Faberge egg, they treated her like just another rookie. Now they're staring down plummeting ratings in half-empty arenas, like, wait, what happened? You don't let Caitlin Clark get bullied and battered every night and then act shocked when the wheels fall off.
Stink without Caitlin Clark. It is rough. It has been a rough stretch. I thought that Indiana would split the 4 games that she was out if she was going to be out 4 games. I guess that's still on the table.
You don't allow cheap shots and flagrant fouls from players desperate for a highlight reel moment at her expense, and you definitely don't ignore her value until she's benched with an injury and suddenly the league feels like it's been unplugged from life support. The fans know it. The networks know it. Even Stephen F. Smith is probably already prepping a monologue about it. Because without Clark, the WNBA becomes what it's been terrified of being for 2 decades.
The Indiana Fever literally just gave everything they had against the worst team in the league, and they still lost. You still lost. That was probably the best performance you're going to get in this stretch of games without Caitlin Clark down that stretch. I mean, they came back from down 15 points. They went on a 16-0.
An echo chamber. And the worst part, it didn't have to be this way. Let's talk about the Indiana Fever for a second. If you thought they didn't feel Clark's absence the moment she sat out, you're sorely mistaken. Their most recent game against the Washington Mystics, it was like watching a blindfolded squirrel trying to pilot a spaceship. Pure chaos. Zero direction. And not even close to working. Voiceover.
I just had the miserable task of watching the Indiana Fever play basketball without Caitlin Clark. There were a whole lot of things wrong with this game on the basketball side of things. Obviously, the Indiana Fever's interior defense was horrible. If you watched this game, you saw them give up, I think, over 50 points in the paint. Aaliyah Boston looked like a cone down there. It was literally horrible to watch. I haven't seen a team play that bad interior defense in a long time. They were not even trying. It's like Caitlin Clark wasn't playing out there, and they decided, you know what, since Caitlin Clark isn't playing, we're not even going to try. We know we're going to lose. It was horrible to watch. This is a game you could have won against the youngest team in.
The Fever fell apart. And you could practically smell the desperation in the air. Players were glancing at the bench like Caitlin might leap out of the water cooler in a superhero cape to save the day. Spoiler, she didn't. The Fever without Caitlin. That's a pizza with no cheese. Technically still pizza, but honestly, why even bother? The offense dragged like a 90s dial-up modem trying to stream Netflix. The defense, more absent than a soap opera dad. And the shooting, don't even talk about it.
A bunch of rookies out there. This was a winnable game for the Indiana Fever. This team, mind you, with Caitlin Clark, literally lost by 2 to the New York Liberty, which is the championship team last year. And without Caitlin Clark, you look trash out there. And it's not even that they look trash. They are boring to watch.
Those missed shots looked allergic to the hoop. The whole game felt like someone trying to power a Tesla with a potato battery, and if anyone still doubted how much one player could impact a team, this game erased all doubt. Everyone out there was hustling, sure, but let's not kid ourselves, there was a Clark-sized crater in that lineup and no amount of hustle could fill it. Caitlin, it's mind-blowing. People are posting injury prayers while simultaneously
just embarrassing. This was an embarrassing game. Stephanie White, down 12 points with 6 seconds to go, just called a timeout. She just called a timeout. This was a absolute embarrassment. An embarrassing performance from the Indiana.
Dragging the league to do better. The hype hasn't disappeared. It's just sitting courtside, icing a leg. Meanwhile, her rivals they're out here trying to go viral with TikToks that can't even get an algorithm pity-like. The league thought it could ride Caitlyn's wave without respecting the tide, and now it's just a bunch of confused floaties stranded on dry sand. This should be the biggest wake-up call in WNBA history. If the powers that be don't realize they just watched their lifeline limp off the court, they're snoozing harder than a sloth on NyQuil. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's a once-in-a-generation gift. And the league is managing her like a teen who just got their first credit card, reckless, clueless, and already in the red. So sure, keep pretending she's just another player. Keep hyping the balance and shared spotlight while arenas echo and ratings nosedive. But here's the spoiler alert, you can't put a lampshade over a lighthouse. And if Caitlyn doesn't come back soon,
Indiana Fever lose to a young Washington Mystics team, 83-77. Look lost without Caitlin Clark.
Body, mind, or morale, you're going to be left with gymnasiums so empty you'll hear sneakers squeak like ghost whispers. And to all the haters yelling overrated like it's their full-time job, congrats. You're about to learn the hard way just how wrong you were. The second she stepped off the court, the lights dimmed, the fans tuned out, and the magic evaporated. She wasn't just part of the show, she was the show. Now the WNBA.
So, the Indiana Fever did not look good without Caitlin Clark. I guess that would be an understatement. Look, I mean, it's not that surprising to see the drop-off for the Fever without Clark, this Caitlin Clark effect, if you will, because so often what's talked about is her impact on interest or economics, but all of that is based on her abilities as a basketball.
NBA is just rerunning the same scenes, but the star's missing from the credits. It's still technically on air, but who's still watching? Caitlyn didn't just revive interest in the WNBA, she gave it a heartbeat, and without her, it's flatlining faster than a cancelled sitcom. Let us know in the comments below, does the WNBA deserve this train wreck? Like, subscribe, turn on all notifications so you never miss a drop. Click the video on your screen now, and we'll catch you in the next one.